The other day, a student comes up to me in class and says, Jimmy, I'm so frustrated with my hamstrings. I do standing head to knee all the time. I do all this yoga postures all the time. I can't seem to straighten out my leg. Does it sound familiar? Is this something that frustrates you?
I'm just so frustrated.
Are you a yoga teacher and you have students that have the same frustrations? So what I want to do in this video is to eliminate all the frustrations by changing your mindset, understanding the dynamics and the mechanics of the yogic pose, which is essential for you to reach your full expression and understand your body, the mind-body connection. So in this video, I'm going to give you tips to eliminate the frustrations. Here's tip number one. Less in the beginning, more at the end. This is a very important dynamic to the position. What I see one of the biggest mistakes beginners, intermediate students make in yoga is they go too far too soon.
Just don't do that.
When you're doing a posture that's 30 seconds or even 60 seconds, like standing head to knee, you go too far too soon, your body tightens up. It's too much. First of all, you won't be able to maintain that intensity for that longer period of time because you're already maxed out. Second, your body's going to contract to protect itself as a defense mechanism. So your body tightens up, and of course you're not going to be able to get more flexible. Of course you're not going to find that next level because you sabotage yourself because the body is protecting itself by reacting. So now when you go slower in the beginning, now your body can respond, and now your body becomes more pliable and more flexible. So you got to change that right off the bat.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
So let's go back to my student. We'll call him Bob for all intents and purposes. So I say, Bob, you have extraordinary flexibility in your hips, more so than most men. You have tight hamstrings. I have very flexible hamstrings. That was always my thing, and I always had tight hips. You want to trade? Of course, it's a rhetorical question. Isn't it silly? So I'll take a little bit of your hip flexibility. You take a little bit of my hamstring flexibility. You have to understand what is and not make the judgment. That's really a key thing. That's a really important thing. So these tips are going to help you with your frustration, especially the very last tip that I give you. So make sure you watch the video all the way through. But before we do that, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to learn all about hot yoga and how I can help you on your yoga journey. Hit the like button. And any comments you have or frustrations of some poses, put them down in the comments below. I get to all the comments. Now, Patanjali. A lot of people consider Patanjali to be the forefather of modern day yoga, and he would say in his Yoga Sutras, be still in your asana. But he's not talking about the modern Hatha yogi. He's not talking about doing standing head to knee and standing bow or doing vinyasa. He's talking about being still so you can sit in meditation for long periods of time. The standing poses actually weren't even called postures until about 100 years ago. It's not 6,000-year-old science doing the yoga the way we do it today. Now, when you reach your full expression, so for example, my full expression in standing bow, I've showed it many times in the video before. When I reach my full expression in standing bow and straighten that leg, then yes, you stay in your position and hold it. But until you get there, you have to feel your body elastic so you can improve to get to the next inch, to get to the next 2 centimeters if you live outside of the United States. In the United States, we had trouble with the metric system, so we're back to inches. But just that next 2 inches, that's what you have to think about. How am I going to improve? Where's the pendulum swing in that particular pose that I must be on properly? Now, I've had the privilege of traveling all over the world teaching hot yoga in Japan, in Hungary, in Australia. I've been to Australia like 6 times. It's wonderful to go the first 3 times. Then after a while, it's a long plane ride. Anyway, what I see, a lot of people focus so much when we do our balancing poses, like standing bow, for example, they put too much time in getting into the pose. Now, it's fine to start out slow, because we talked about that. But sometimes they go too slow, so that they're so deliberate getting into the pose, and then they just stay there and hold it. Once you're in the pose, then we got to start to move. We have to start to stretch. That's what I said before. Feel your body elastic, which is going to bring us to the next point. Do the first set different than the second set. In the Barkan world and the Bikram world, most of the time we do 2 sets. You don't want to practice the second set the same way you practice the first set. Here's a really great Jimmy Barkan aphorism, and that is, the more patient you are in the first set, the more results you have in the second set. So the first set, yes, you're finding your position. You may want to stay there a little bit longer and hold it. Just get a feel for the awareness of the pose. But in the second set, that's when we want to take it to the next level. That's when we want to go to the next inch. So back to my standing bow. I was never able to straighten my leg in the standing bow in the first set. I needed the first set to warm up. I was only able to straighten my leg in the second set. A lot of times we did multiple classes in a day. Sometimes I wouldn't be able to straighten my leg until the second set of the second class. You have to understand how you're accumulating your flexibility, allowing the body to be pliable by being patient. And then at the end of that pose, you take it to that full level, you find that full expression. How else can we get rid of frustration? You got to make sure you're in the right position. You're in the actual proper alignment. Here's the really cool thing. There's an exact alignment for everybody at every level, from beginning to advanced. Now, if you want me to be your teacher, if you enroll in my teacher training program, you can send videos of yourself practicing yoga, and then I can give you corrections, send it back via video, because that's what I do. And especially in my class, all I do is correct. But if you're not on the right path, you're not on that right pendulum swing, you're working against yourself. Another way is to access my tutorials. I have so many tutorials on the YouTube channel. There's a whole tutorial playlist. You can go look and see. I get you on the right track. If you're not a Barkan or a Bikram student, there's so many videos on YouTube these days, or you can go onto Google and look it up. Be a student of your particular style of yoga if you really want to practice at it, if you really want to get better. Next tip to get rid of your frustration is consistency. I did a video a while back called The Secret of a Consistent Yoga Practice. So you should be doing yoga at least 4 times a week. 5 is great, 6 is ideal. I'm not a proponent of doing 7 classes a week. I know a lot of schools do a 30-day challenge, do 30 days in a row and transform your life. That's great for one block of time, but on a consistent basis, take 1 day off to give your body a chance to recover. If you want to get 7 classes in, do 2 classes in 1 day. 4 to 6 times a week is key. Tiger Woods used to say he would laugh at these weekend golfers that play golf, a couple times a month and then get frustrated because their game isn't that good. He says, if you really want to get better at golf, get to the driving range, take golf lessons, be a student of the game, then you can improve your game. Same thing in yoga. You want to get better at yoga, you got to do it on a consistent basis. 4, 5, 6, especially 5, 6 times a week on a consistent basis. Now you're going to do the best possible thing you can. So what is frustration? Here's a definition of frustration. Not being able to do something about the situation. You're in the right alignment. You're doing it on a consistent basis. You're putting forth your best effort. You're doing the best possible thing you can about the situation, the best possible thing you can to remedy the situation, but you have to be patient. That's going to bring us to the very last and most profound Jimmy Barkan aphorism. So here it is, drum roll. And I've said it many times on my channel before, maybe the most profound thing I've ever said to anybody in yoga, and here it is. You got to find your starting position, wherever that may be, and everybody's different, every day is different. Find your starting position in each pose without judgment, because what is what is. Let's say you had a long weekend and you're coming off that weekend, maybe a little bit hungover, your body's really tight. That's what is. Now maybe at the end of the week you're feeling really strong and powerful, so that's going to be a different mindset. Find your starting position in every pose without judgment. And then here's your goal, and this is your only goal. Find the next inch. And once again, if you lived outside the United States, find the next 2 centimeters. That's it. If you find your starting position with judgment, the negative thought ripples into your physiology and makes it worse, makes it tighter. That's going to create more frustration. But if you have, okay, this is what is. Here's my starting position. For Bob, it's tight hamstrings. For me, it was tight hips. This is what is. All I'm going to do is find the next level, that next inch, that next centimeter. That's it. And that's how I'm going to reach my full expression. That's how I'm going to get rid of all frustration, understanding my body and having that awareness. Because it's not about the posture, it's about the body. You don't want to think that you want to do the full standing head to knee or the full standing bow because it looks wonderful and aesthetic. You want to be able to open up your hamstrings, open up your back that allows you to get to that full position. You have to always think of the body, not the posture as the destination. That mind-body connection is everything. So I hope these tips will help to eliminate your frustration on your yogic journey, and I wish you good luck in your yoga journey. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel and you want to learn all about hot yoga, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Any comments or frustrations, put them down below. I get to all the comments, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye, everyone.